Welcome back to the Real Revenue Show, where we discuss real business concepts that'll help you grow and scale any business model. We're your hosts. I'm Malcolm Bowles. This is Andre Truss, and we're with you guys today for a special episode. All right. So today, technically, it is January 28th. I'm not sure when you guys are going to see this, but it's January 28th, and it is my man Truss's 29th birthday. What's good, man?
Yeah,
Happy
29 on the 28th.
Yes, man. Happy
29 on
birthday
the
to the
28th.
God, man. So how do you feel?
I feel good, bro. I feel blessed. I woke up this morning. I feel real energized. I'm in a predicament now where, this year's birthday messages were very different from last year's birthday messages. I kind of track how my birthday messages look over years.
Got you.
And I finally got to a point where my birthday messages was like messages that's like how I help them change their lives.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought that was dope. Like I got one message this morning that was like a 13-page essay.
That's dope.
That was like, yo, bro, like on some real man to man. I just want to let you know, like 2 years ago, I had no idea what I wanted to do in my life. Now I'm doing well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like now I'm not worried about money. I view the world so differently from hearing you speak. I used to think that you meant, because I'm a minimalist, by the way, like super minimalist. You know that, but for anybody that's out there, I'm a super minimalist. I believe it's not about not spending. It's about spending on the things that matter to you. Mm-hmm. So Mal could tell you, I'm never going to be the guy that's wearing $3,000 sneakers, X, Y, and Z. I'll never do that. But when it comes to memories and fun and expansion, I'm always willing to spend. I'm always willing to put up every dollar because that matters a lot to me. So being a minimalist, that's what comes from that. And he was just telling me, he used to think my mindset was like, I never wanted money. Furthest thing from the truth. That's actually very incorrect. The difference is that what I do with my money only matters to me. No one's going to peer pressure me into buying a Ferrari if I don't want one. I'm not going to do it. You're not going to get me to do it. So that was something he was just mentioning, how my philosophies with that kind of propelled him to view money, view life, view everything different, and start living life for himself. Right. And stop living life for everybody else. I live my life on my own terms, my own accords. If it doesn't matter to me, I'm not going to pretend like it does. Yeah. And if it matters to somebody I care about, then I'll take it on. But if it doesn't matter to somebody I care about and it doesn't matter to me, then it's never going to get looked at, in my opinion. So, but these birthday, notes and posts and stuff like that has been pretty dope, man. It feels good to know that I'm helping people. And not only that I'm helping so many people that they're excited about my birthday. I don't even be excited about my birthday.
I understand.
So I think that's pretty dope.
So I would be one of the people to tell you, like, bro, I'm so proud of you. Like, I've witnessed your growth. I've known you since we were 14?
14, bro.
14, yeah. So, and I like the stages of growth and how you like matured, bro. Like it's actually incredible. I'm very proud of you again.
I just realized, bro, I've known you now that I'm 29. I've known you longer than I haven't known you.
Yeah. It's like
tough,
that,
bro.
Like
I really appreciate that, though. By the way, our journey has been pretty dope. Mm-hmm. As men, especially, I feel like oftentimes we don't express to each other how much we matter to each other and how much all of our journeys are impacting each other. So for all of and this is for women as well, but for all of my men and women that's listening. Tell your friends how you feel about them. Our group chat is very it's a very emotional one. It's very good to each other how we feel. We give each other compliments. We big each other up. And that's why you'll notice every chance I get to plug something about what Malcolm is doing, if he's not going to do it, I will. Yeah, so.
And, even when you talking about my book, like write my book, like you were like one of like the first people that came to mind when it comes to like, I remember you were only in town for a little bit of time. Like, yo, I'm writing my book. I need the interview right now. You were just like, I bet I'll be here tomorrow. I was like,
easy day. I think I was in town for like 2 days.
Yeah, like you weren't even in town for that long, and we just did it, got it done. And in the book, I talk about like you're one of the people like I brag about the most when I talk about like, yo, this is who my people are. You know what I mean? Like my man just opened up a damn restaurant. He's working on location number 2. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, like you're one of like the people like I look to for motivation, and when I need like the kicking the ass too as well, like, yo, Malcolm, like this is what you need to be doing. And I said this on the first episode, I have no ego when it comes to me coming to you for help or me coming to you for guidance. So I'm very grateful for you Yeah, I don't know what else to say.
You gonna make me shed a tear, bro.
Yeah, so
Don't do it. Don't do it. You can't do it on camera.
Right. So what I wanted to ask you though, right, for the sake of the show, if you could go back in time and talk to your 14-year-old self, what would you tell him?
Dang.
Yeah.
Honestly, with where I'm at mentally, I would tell him, and I know it sounds cliche, right? But I really mean this from the bottom of my heart. I would tell myself that anything is possible. So coming from our environments, it's tough to see past our neighborhood. I knew that I didn't want to have to struggle anymore. So I wanted to leave, but that's all I knew. And for me, everybody kind of mentions, because I played, you know, a bunch of different sports. I played piano, I rapped, I like made beats. Like I did everything that you can imagine under the sun. I was on a chess team. Like I did everything possible. And I even said that in your book. It wasn't about the fact that I wanted to go to the NBA or I wanted to go to, you know, the NFL, or I wanted to be a major musician. I just didn't want to be in my predicament anymore. And one of these avenues, I figured, you know how people are like diversification?
Yeah.
Like I felt like if I diversified my life,
yeah,
I would be able to get out of the scenario I'm in one way or the other. So, but I think if I knew at that time how far you can go in 10 years, I'd want to have a real convo with myself like, yo, bro, in 10 years, you can do anything. Cause at 14, we were pretty conscious. Like I don't think we were like a lot of many other 14-year-olds.
I agree.
I think we were like really young adults just because of how life kind of raised us. We were young adults. And I would go back and tell myself, because I think about some of the things I did back then when I started my own record label. I was just like, everybody was like, yo, bro, it's hard to get signed. I was like, why do we need to get signed? I could just start my own.
Right.
But I didn't realize back then that that was a version of thinking large. Right, or a bigger picture. Everybody, yo, trust, like you're all right in basketball. I wasn't amazingly good, but I was okay.
He was great.
Huh?
He was great.
I was good. Like you feel me? I played football. I was nice, but I wasn't like overly. I never really thought of myself like that. I will talk heavy smack talk.
Yeah.
But I never really deep down inside ever was like, yo, I want to go to the league, because my thought process at that age was, okay, LeBron makes $60 million a year, whatever the crazy number is, 600 million. I said, who's writing his check? Right. You know, it's funny. I used to tell people that and they're like, yo, what do you mean, bro? I'm like, yo, bro, somebody has to have, like, this is what I mean. Someone has to have discretionary.
Yeah.
A discretionary 60 mil to give to someone. Yeah. For them to make 60 mil. It doesn't just appear. Right. Either the machine, and there has to be someone in charge of the machine, because that's how business works. Yeah. So I always was like, yo, who's writing their checks? My thought process was always that. That's why it always boiled back down to business. Because if you're the dude writing the check, then that means money's raining from the heavens and you decide where it goes. That's how I've always viewed it. So if I could go back and tell myself, I want to tell people that nothing is off limits, right? Yeah. And our imagination is only as expansive as we allow it to be. So I think I would want to have like a retreat. And this is something that I'm thinking about, by the way. And if somebody has the funds to do it right now, I would love for you guys to get it done. But I want to create like a retreat that takes young kids out of their environment that they know and put them into a creative space that just allows them to free roam. Because like on one of our last episodes, I mentioned that one of my major problems with school was I felt like school limited me in terms of my creativity. So I loved math and I loved creating mathematical equations, problems, and setups. So imagine, bro, going into the class and it's like 2 + 2 = 4. And you're like, okay, can we do 2 + 3 - 1 plus X, Y, and Z? And that, I know it gets there longer, but can we make this look pretty? Yeah. I love math and I love numbers. And they're like, no, that's too complicated. And I'm like, bro, if I clearly did 2 + 3 - 1, I'm clearly thinking higher level. Yeah. You probably can just move me to a higher class. So I ended up like negotiating myself. That's why at Mount, I negotiated that. I was like, yo, you can't have me in these classes.
Yeah, I remember in high school, like every time I think like progress reports came out, without fail, you'll see Dre running around class to class, arguing with each teacher about his grade. I'm just like, yo, bro, it's just a progress report. Like you, like those even. And he was not. He was dead serious.
I was dead serious because it's
Robinson, like, see, Robert, what's up, Mr. Joseph, what's up? I'm just like, yo,
and it was because, bro, I told you I had to get out, man.
Yeah.
Like bills, looking at like the struggle that we were in, I had to get out, and I didn't know how to do it.
Yeah.
But for the things that was in my control, they best believe they were inside of my control. Like I was gonna.
Right. I remember like you just mentioned like starting your own like record label. I remember when you were on your campaign to even get your recording equipment, you started selling candy and fruit snacks in school. I was the #1 customer. Like every
facts,
every
with
class,
the cherry and the cherry and the strawberry.
Yeah, man, I need those. And to the point, like when you didn't have them, like it really kind of threw off my day. Like
you and JJ used to be out there like, yo, bro,
yeah,
I
like
need two.
What's up? What you mean you don't got them? Like I need that.
You know.
So like I'm again like testament to like I witnessed like your mentality even from back then when it comes to like business and just how making a way when it seemingly is none. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
and it was I'm listening, bro.
No, I was gonna ask. So, like, what would be, what were some, I would say, developmental changes you went through in your like journey of business? Like, an example, like for me, like when I first like quit my job and started my own business, like what I thought business was like to like what I think it is now, to what I know it is now. Even I'm still young, but to what I think it is now has changed dramatically. How has that changed for you?
So I had to realize that in business, there's no rules. Right? I came into business thinking that business was like, oh, it's, it has to be this way. But the truth of the matter is, right, there's frameworks. There's frameworks in business. But every business is uniquely at the base the same thing. Then the intricacies of each one is a bit different. But overall, every business is the same. You're gonna have cost of goods, you're gonna have taxes, you're gonna have employees, and they're gonna need admin work. It's all the same in that sense. For me, the major change I would say was realizing that you're making it up as you're going. Okay. And that the only person's opinion who really, truly, and deeply matters is the customer. I used to, oh no, but it should be this way, right? It's like, no, it's how the customer wants it to be. That's the point. You're creating a product for the customer. Right. So in my original status, right, I used to tell only about interest rates and how the VA loan was good to go. That was like, yo, the VA loan portfolio X. You know who makes the 99 percentile decision? And it's not to be whatever, but normally if it's a couple, the wife. And what does the wife care about? The kitchen. And it's not to be whatever, but like these are things that from all of the data, this isn't me, whatever. This is like from all of the data, every single time is like, these are the things that I want inside of the house. So if they don't care about the interest rate, but they care about the kitchen and stuff, then I guess I got to start talking about the kitchen, or I got to start talking about the master bedroom and the closet. Interesting. Right. Right. So as much as I personally, yo, bro, I'm getting you a really good deal. You're going to be able to set your future up and change your life by being able to get, so what I used to tell people is like, you're going to have to work 30 years regardless if you like the job or not, because people have to work. Right. Retirement is a myth. I keep telling people that you have to dedicate your life to something or to be a very difficult life. So on my end, I'm in a predicament now where I'm trying to help people build out these portfolios and they just don't care because yo, bro, 30 years, think about this, right? Over a 30-year period, you can get, so the average rent, bro, is like $1,500. But if you get 10 houses, that's $1,500 in rent over a 30-year appreciation. Let's say it appreciated to $2,000 in rent a month. That's 10 houses at $2,000 a month, free and clear, because the tenants paid it down. That's $20,000 in retirement. That's your retirement, and you could do that for $50,000 because of the way the VA loan is structured. You don't need $10 million. You only need 50. And in mom, I'm like, yo, it blew my mind. Like, wow, there's like 700 vehicles to retire. Like a 401k is not going to get you there the way that you think it is, or like a TSP is not going to get you there. Like they're proven to not work. Right. So like statistics show like 99% of them don't work. Whereas like a high level that does not work. So it's okay. What's the alternative? and I'm excited. And bro, they didn't care.
Yeah.
And I said, okay.
It's like, I want bay windows in my kitchen. Like, I don't care about what you talking.
I remember this one guy, bro. I was with him and I was mad excited to help him out because he wanted to, change the circumstance.
Yeah.
I find him this townhouse. We do X, Y, and Z. And he's like, yeah, bro, I know we need, I forgot what it was. I know we need more in closing costs, but can you ask the seller to give me a little bit more in closing costs? Cause like, I want to paint the cabinets white. And I said, bro, you're willing to sacrifice a deal like this because the cabinets aren't white? He was just like, yeah, bro. And that was the moment that switched it for me because I was really mad because I always felt like a steward, right? If you're going to trust me with your money, if you're going to trust me with the livelihood of a decision, there's not going to be a doubt in your mind when you work with me that you should make a decision.
Got it.
And I felt like I was letting him down. But I was like, oh, I'm letting him down because I don't understand what he wants. I'm trying to force my thought process on them. So in business, a lot of us force our way of thinking onto people, not understanding that like, yo, yes, you can have a phenomenal concept that works and it does, and it's great. But your audience might want the most basic version of it. And it sucks because as much as you want to push the other version, you still have to eat and survive. So it's like, you can't push this forever with no income coming in. All right. So now that I'm in a predicament now where my foundation is solid, now you notice I'm like doing things like this, or like putting myself out there more, because now I can have an unfiltered thought without having to worry about anything. Now it's like, okay, I can have unfiltered thoughts and be like, hey, this is how life really works. As much as we're angry and as much as, oh, trust is X, Y, and Z, I'm really very honest and straight to the point, right? Life is very difficult. The world is difficult, but life is also beautiful and life is also easy, right? It's just the choices that we kind of make and the people that we choose to surround ourselves with.
Got it.
So that's why when you asked me that question earlier about like what I would tell myself when I'm 14, it's like, bro, the universe is like, even this, right? This is one of the things I was telling Eric the other day. I said, bro, take a look around you one day and realize that every single thing that does not grow from the earth came from someone's mind. Just every single thing on the face of the planet started in one person's mind and is just now here.
Wow, yeah.
The keyboard, the computer, all of these things, right? So I even had I had a convo with this young man the other day. He was like, yo, isn't it kind of crazy that like, because you grew up in an age where you kind of got to see not having a computer and having one. So what's that like for you, old head? Like, you kind of messing with me. And I said, bro, the bigger picture, or what you should really concern yourself with, is the fact that the earth has been around for whatever gazillion years. And we're just now realizing that we can put together a computer, but the materials have always been here. Like, so what don't we know? And what we're not thinking large enough in the grand scheme of things. So I'm always going to boil it back down to thinking larger. So when it comes back to your second question of like, all right, like what are some of the hiccups? I realized I was thinking too small in my mindset. It was very like, if it doesn't work this way, then nah, there's a plethora of ways that it can work.
Right.
You're just stuck to one way of thinking about it. But if I get you into the door, like, yo, house one, yeah, you like the cabinets, but now that you're in the house, you realize that the cabinets don't really matter and no one cares. Now it's like, oh, damn, I want house number two. Hey, man, how do you feel about house number one? I realize that none of those things matter. Okay, cool. Are you ready to build your portfolio now? And realize that in 5 years, you can get 10 properties and that's your retirement. You're done for the rest of your life. You just got to, you could do whatever you want as long as you coast at the 30-year mark, you will have $20,000 a month coming in on reoccurring revenue. You won't have to worry about a thing. Are you ready for that portion of the conversation? and now they are. So, that was something for me. I realized that I was living in my head, bro. And it sucks sometimes, but I mentioned it in one of the episodes in I think it might have been 4 or 5. Where I said like the ability to pivot is big, man. It was realizing that you can't be married to one thing and that changes are prevalent, but it's rolling with those changes and realizing that everyone's making it up as they're going. Business isn't set in stone. Like one thing that works for someone doesn't work for the other, but the frameworks do always work. The frameworks work. The intricacies are different for everyone. But if you come in, if if your team is organized, if y'all focus on income producing activities, y'all will make money. That will never change. But everything else does kind of change. So I hopefully that answers the question.
It answers it perfect. So I wanted to know, like, did you have age and milestones that align with those ages? Because it's your 29th birthday. So 29 is kind of a weird age to have a milestone. So maybe it was 30 for you, but like, did you have one? Or a few, like at 20, I want this. Yeah, at 30, I want this, or 25, or like that.
So at 30, I wanted to, if I decided to, I'm just going to lay in bed for the rest of my life, could I financially do that? And I could do that, bro.
Okay.
And I could do that. So like that's
the bomb button. I would.
Yeah, you feel me? So I can do that, right? And the reason that I could do that is because I focused on what matters to me.
Right.
I'm not saying I have $70,000 coming in a month to my account. That's not what I'm saying, right? What I'm saying is that for all the things that matter to me, I sat down and really said, who is Andre as a person? What do I care about? Well, I care about being able to travel 10 to 30 times a year. That matters a lot to me. So can I take a flight whenever I want? Can I create a system that's going to allow me to make money, points, rewards, cards, all of these things that's going to allow me to fly whenever I want? That's good to go, right? I want to live in a house that's like this. Okay, I can live in that house, right? I don't need 300 bedrooms because I'm a person who spends most of my time in the living room. It's on my couch. So I need to have enough space, but I do like to play video games. So I need to have a space big enough to push the couches out the way, play some video games and play on Oculus and things like that. So those are all the things that matter to me. Can I take care of my mom? Can I do X? So when I wrote that down, I got a number. And that number is very attainable. When it doesn't become attainable is when you start to live for other people and you feel like, you know how many people I know, bro? And I always mention cars because that's one of them. You know how many people I know who hate cars? They're like $3,000 payment right now because they're like, yeah, bro, but I need it. I need it to like, because everybody else said, like, because I make this amount of money, I should have it.
Right.
It's not their money. Why does that matter?
Yeah.
Right. So it's along those lines of now understanding that and trying to kind of get that out to the masses. So I didn't necessarily have milestones.
Okay.
Like I used to be on something, I gotta be a millionaire by this date. And my mentor, he turned up on me one day. He goes, I'm sitting in the room. I think I was like 24 and I'm stressing. And I'm like, yo, hey, can I talk to you for a second? Look at my Excel spreadsheet. It has me on track. But like, and I'm like 24. I think I made my first 100,000 at 24, I think. 23 or 24. And so I'm like, yo, I got 100, I think it was like 120 or something like that. Yo, like, I gotta get there. And he goes, yo, Andre, just shut up. And I looked at him and it's like, he goes, yo, you're worried about being a millionaire by 30. And I'm worried that when I was your age, I was worried about being at 0 by the time I was 33. And it put it in perspective for me that like, wow, I'm stressing about nothing. It's just that social media is crazy in terms of like what we see on a daily basis. I'm out here competing with 69-year-old men and women. I'm like, yo, I'm 24, 25, 26. Why am I competing with 69-year-old people or 73-year-old people or Grant Cardone that's like 55 at the time? Like they're 30 years ahead, bro. Relax. So then, but it doesn't really aid looking into backstories of people. I realized that like I started, whenever I see somebody, I'm like, oh, I'm not at that point. I look into their backstories and I'm like, oh, wow, Grant Cardone didn't make $1 for real until he was like 45.
Yeah.
Oh, like the McDonald's guy didn't even jump into McDonald's until he was 55.
Right.
So this is another thing. I'm gonna drop another gem. I think my partner gave me this one. So he's older than me by like a couple years or whatever, like 6 or 7 years. And he's one of the hardest working dudes I've ever met in my entire life. I'm gonna always put that out there. I'm always gonna, champion that, right?
So that's how the tells.
Yeah, like so just ridiculous worker. And I'm like, okay, I think I was like 26 at the time. I think he was like 32 or 33. And I'm like, yo, I'm 26 and he's 32, 33, I'm 7 years away from being just as young, energetic, sharp, on point about action as this dude.
Mm-hmm.
And then now I'm like, my mentor though is 55, and he's texting me like, yo, bro, just finished up the gym set. I'm about to go kill it today.
Mm.
And I'm 20 some odd, 30 years away from being just as young and energetic as him. He's 10 years younger than his mentor who's still killing it.
Right.
Who's younger than 10, that's 10 years younger than his mentor who's still killing it.
Right.
And I'm like 50 years away from being just as young and energetic as those guys.
Right.
I was like, yo, there's no rush, bro.
Yeah.
Like my whole view changed on like what milestones and I need to have X. As long as I could provide and like my family could come to me and it's like, yo, they need something, I could take care of everybody in that sense, bro, I'm good, man.
Like one of the things I remember, like early 20s, like one of my goals was like I wanted like Bentley GT Coupe. That was like my favorite car, right? But and you know it's crazy, like now I look back and I'm just like, yo, I can't have that. I need a car seat now. You know what I'm saying? I gotta have something my little man can sit in with you. And your values changing, your idea of just kind of what quote unquote making it changes. You know what I mean?
That's why your book was, and I'm one more time, a shameless plug, right? The reason I loved your book so much, and when you had mentioned this is what you wanted to do, why I was excited and I was like trying to push for you to get those deadlines, was that it finally made me realize that, bro, success it's literally dependent upon you.
Mm-hmm.
And I never had that. So I don't think I ever told you, but after reading the book and going through it, one, I read my chapter and cried because I feel like you got me as a person. I feel like you described who I was very well.
Thank you.
Right. So I read my chapter, I read through your brother's chapter, I read through like all of it. And I'm like, wow, none of us are more successful or more better than anyone. We're all on an even keel of what matters to us. And I, in that moment, realized that I've never actually defined what mattered to me. I was always going off everyone else's metrics, pulling up sheets. And it's like, okay, this is what the average 24-year-old is doing. I'm 10x that. Oh, wow. But that's the average 24-year-old. What about Mark Zuckerberg? Bro, you can't compare yourself to an anomaly.
Right.
An anomaly in one in a century anomaly. Right. Or like the Elon Musks. Like those dudes, like they're an anomaly. They're never the case. Right. So like the billionaire list has like 500 people on it.
Yeah.
There's like 9 billion people on whatever, 6 to 8 billion people on Earth.
Right.
So I had to really take that step back and actually start to matter. And I realized for me, man, family spaces matter a lot to me. I like when my friends, we went to the cabin last year, and you see how like excited I was and how fun it was. Getting y'all all to come ski with me, and like the cabin is nice and the fireplace is dope and we can hang out, play music. That matters to me so much. I'll spend whatever on that. I don't care what the price is. But other things, I don't think they matter that much. Right. So I think that's the point that I'm at now, going into my 30s, man. You know, I think it's going to be dope because I think Tony Robbins says this. He said, people overestimate what they can do in a year and grossly underestimate what can be done in a decade.
I think that was Warren Buffett.
It was Warren?
It might have been Warren Buffett. But still.
I think I heard it at a Tony, like a Tony thing. So I think either way, they relaying the information.
No, that's a fact.
So then I was reflecting, bro, and it tripped me out because I was at my restaurant the other day, and like when I talk about like full circle moments, I was at my restaurant the other day, a glass fell on the floor and broke, and I was closest to it. Obviously, I got employees, but one of the things that like I pride myself on is that I would never ask an employee to ever do something that I haven't personally done myself or is not willing to do myself. I don't care what it is. So I grab a mop and I start sweeping up the glass and I'm mopping the floor. And I had a flashback, bro, that 10 years ago, almost like to the T, I was mopping floors at Modell's with a boss that I hated that told me I wasn't going to amount to anything in life. And I remember laughing. I quit that night. Trav had got his car and I just quit and Trav came pick me up. But like, I just said, whatever, I'm out. Like, if you don't believe in me, it's cool.
Right.
And I just remember like, I wasn't hurt by it. I just was like, oh, clearly she doesn't know me. Because if she did, that wouldn't be a thought. She doesn't know me and I don't know what she's going through in life. I hope.
Right.
But I was a little bit upset, but it was like, yo, 10 years. So that line, hit me a lot because that was a decade.
Right.
And I was mopping floors, but now I'm mopping floors of like, I own the building, right. I pay all the employees, I do everything. I own the parking lots, I own half of the town. Like, it's kind of like I'm revered in the town. Like, so if you come here, like people know me and it's a really dope feeling, right? Because I was chasing community and I found community. Right. Where I know all the local businesses. Everyone here knows me. Right. So knows my partners. They know our cars. They see us and it's like, yo, hey, what's going on? Like, hey, we're doing this. We want you to come and show out, or can we partner up with you guys? It's a really dope feeling. I drive around the city like it's my city.
That's dope.
Right?
You talk about Flavor Hills in Jacksonville, North Carolina. Everybody.
Yeah, like it's pretty dope, but it's a community here, right? It's a majority military personnel, but then there's a lot of people who are native to the area, right? That are phenomenal. We got some really creative people here, and it made me realize how much is outside of New York because I was in New York a majority of my life. Right. But going somewhere else and realizing that there's other places, there's other cultures, there's other things that people focus on and what matters. So that's where I've been at. And it's been dope to experience, bro. And understanding that using it for business has been even better. So now we coach a lot of the businesses here. I help out with a lot of people. My accountant, she's phenomenal. So every chance I get, like a new business starts up, it's like, hey, you got to go to Katrina, right? Katrina Carrington. I think she's going to branch out. I'll probably have her on the show at some point. Okay, bet. She's an absolute monster, AKA, by the way. She's an absolute monster. She used to be in the Marine Corps, decided to go get her accounting degree, start her accounting firm, and she kills it. She's like one of the top CPAs in town, right? So it's stuff like that, and being able to, like, I know all the lawyers. Like my lawyer, has a distillery, and it's like the stuff from his distillery is at my bar. Yeah, it's fire. Right? It's super tough. So it's like that. All of that stuff is dope. So I'm trying to spread the word of like having people understand that yes, money is valuable. Don't take what I'm saying ever to mean that we're not chasing the bag or that we're not trying to get more and more and more to provide for our friends and family. But should it be the only thing that you focus on? I think not. Right? I think it should be a baseline of, and that's another thing I had to realize in business is that you're chasing the bottom line so much that you forget like certain intangibles in the business. You just like the feeling, I'll tell a story, the feeling of when Tellers and I were starting our real estate company and we were in like his attic space bonus room. Yeah. At like a desk. And I have that photo. Was some of the most fun I've ever had. It was just me and my homie logging hours trying to just better ourselves. Right. We used to play music. We just be in there like, yo, I wonder. And we used to think about times where it's like, yo, we're never going to have to worry about bills again. Right. You know what I mean? And then, then his wife gets involved and it's like, hey guys, I want to contribute. I bought you guys this banner. And it was so tough because she like rolled it up and she hit it. Right. But we talk about like support and like having people in your corner. Think about how much, how nervous he and I were about launching this to the world. Right. And to know that literally and figuratively, we have a flag and somebody waving a flag that's like, yo, we support you. And then it's like, then his kids jump in. It's like, hey, dad, can we start businesses too? It's like, yeah, you can. Yeah. Right. So that whole journey, man, they talk about like respecting the journey. I really want people to respect the journey. I'm just having a blast building with my friends and the people that I care about and watching all of our journeys, unfold. And yes, money sometimes is slow, right? In the beginning stages when you're trying to get it. But what you lack in money, you make up in rich memories that you'll have, when you have all the money in the world, you're going to revert back to those memories. And that's what's going to, give you those moments. So that was my take on that. I had to run that. Listen, before I get emotional, because this is probably one of my favorite episodes. I'm not even going to lie to you. Like, you really struck a couple chords with me today. So we're going to end it on that, everybody. I hope everybody enjoyed that. If you have any last words for the people, Dre? Words to my 14-year-old self, I'll tell you all of you guys, right? There is zero limit on what is capable. And this is not me saying that to, oh, we're just going to give motivational talks, right? You could back it up scientifically. You could back it up theoretically, you know, metaphorically, however you want to break it down. The untold levels of imagination are unbelievable. So what I would charge you guys to do, right? We're trying to create a space here, right? If you have large ideas, do not express that to people who are not prepared to aid in that.
That is a fact.
Right? Because in the beginning stages, when you're trying to build and your confidence is low, you have no proof of concept, right? Right. Think about how many Ubers there were before Uber that got shot down because they were like, what? You want to have an autonomous driving service that just, instead of whatever, it just automatically comes and picks you up and you're good to go? That's stupid. We have cabs. Right? There's documented series and documented, you know, videos of people saying email. That's stupid. We'll never use it. Have you ever heard of the telephone?
Or internet in general.
Right. And now it's like we literally can't survive
right
without it. The whole world was shut down. There'd be an economic collapse. Right. So if with your ideas, man, you know, I want you all to just go out there and shoot for it, strive for it. Surround yourselves with guys like us, with shows like this, with people who actually believe, with people who are going to be honest with you, but not just honest. We're going to give you the tools to fix it, sharpen it. You know, once again, I use this example. My buddy came to me the other day with a gym idea, very rough around the edges, but we refined it. Looks a lot better now. He's trying to raise, 1.2 million. And I'm like, bro, this is how you raise money. This is how you do it. You need to transfer certainty to the investor. Right. But he told it to a bunch of his other friends and they were like, a gym, it's plenty of gyms. And it's like, how are you ever going to expand if you always think that way? Right. So, back once again to my 14-year-old self and to you guys, nothing is impossible. It's just a matter of how long. In our fraternity, we have a saying, the difficult we do immediately, the impossible just takes a tad bit longer.
It's a bar.
Right? You know what I mean? Like, so that's something that we carry, very, I take that very near and dear to my heart. And I've always approached everything that way. If there's a problem, it can only be clarified as a problem. If there's an answer to it, it's just a matter of you finding it. Right. So I'll end on that, Malcolm.
My God, man. My happy birthday again, my brother. I love you to death.
Love you too, bro.
This has been the Real Revenue Show. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you're listening right now somewhere, don't forget to leave us a rating and a comment. We will appreciate it. And with that being said, peace.